tell you, what a game of football that was. There is other scorelines in the Europa League tonight. I tell you one thing, that was a game of football and a half. That was a game of football that Celtic ultimately should have won. Rio Hatate being sent off for a silly tackle. A silly kick out. And I tell you one thing, a big shout out to one of our subscribers, Scott, who put $2,000 on Celtic to win the game. He cashed out when Celtic were winning. I think it was 2-1 he cashed out, and he won $3,000. He then put the $3,000 with 5 minutes to go on Celtic to get the draw. Here's to you, mate. And thank you everyone who has subscribed to the channel this evening, and thank you for everyone who's watched the videos tonight. But I tell you one thing, what a game that was. Where do you start? We're going to listen into a bit of what Neil Lennon and co has to say by the works of television.
Just before half time, a huge goal in the context of the game.
Well, massive goal. When you look at the goal, it came from a corner. Colby Donovan heads it on to the back post, where Austin Trusty slips it into the back of the net for the second goal. And I tell you one thing, Colby Donovan, young man, Colby Donovan, hold my drink, son. Absolutely brilliant young player. First comment up, Rio moved on now. We'll talk about Rio in a couple of minutes. Rio scored the goal, but Rio also put the team under tremendous pressure tonight. And it was an easy goal for Rio Hatate to score. Celtic were playing fantastic football at the time. They were using the three people up front, Yang, Tanekte, Dies and Maeda. They were putting pressure on the defenders, hoping to try and make them make a mistake, and they did. The goalkeeper made the mistake. He passed the ball out straight to Dies and Maeda. Dies and Maeda hits it across the goal to Rio Hatate, who was standing himself 5 minutes into the game, bang into the back of the net. Celtic fans are in a wonderland, absolutely ecstatic about the fact that Celtic have went 1-0 ahead, and it was against the run of play. Under the next 10-15 minutes or so, the dominance of the Italians started to shine through. Celtic started to lose their form a bit, but against the run of play, it could be said at that point, Celtic get a corner. Colby Donovan heads the corner, back post, in comes the big man himself, Austin Trusty, who heads the ball. No, he didn't. He kicked the ball into the side of the goal, and just, we were in dreamland. 2-0 up. Before the game, I said, I took a draw before the game. What it does to the league table, obviously, it doesn't put us in a great position, because tonight at one point, if we had won the game, would have been up and around, would have been in 19th position. But as it stands, well, there's Austin Trusty. Let's just listen to Austin Trusty.
But there's something about this, the way, the manner, being down to 10 men and everything else that goes along with it. How important could that be in terms of momentum, given such a crucial game you've got on Sunday?
Yeah, just confidence. I think just keeping the momentum going and keeping the confidence going and playing our game. I think we lost our way a little bit in the middle of the season, but now we're finding our way back, and that's what we want. That's what we want to see.
Well done tonight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's Austin Trusty for Celtic. Tell you one thing, Austin Trusty.
Website, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen, and it'll take you right there. Well, over in Turkey,
No, I don't care about Turkey. Just waiting to see if they come up with the Martin O'Neill interview. That's the only reason I'm sticking around, to see if they, on that channel, to see if they do the Martin O'Neill interview. Eucharist is just above the worst team in Europe. Well, there we go. And the next game is Eucharist, but when you look at the table as it stands just now, I mean, Celtic have just 5 minutes. No, not yet. 5 minutes. I'm waiting to Martin O'Neill interview. When you look at the league table, Celtic are in 23rd position. It's not great, I get that, but it is it keeps us in there with a fight going into the last game. We could have been in 19th position. We could have made it a lot easier for ourselves. Rio Hatate ultimately tonight cost Celtic around about 4 or 5 positions in the Europa League. We still had the rest of the game to go. Martin O'Neill's tactics, people say that Martin O'Neill's tactics for the beginning of the second half were way wrong. Wasn't the Celtic style. Putting 6 at the back was a bit ropey, to be honest. There's a super chat coming. Let me just get that first. It's coming from Jasper. It says, there's 2 ways to look at it. We could have won, but we probably should have got beat. I'll take that all day long, Baz. I don't think that we should have got beat. Let's go back on. Wrong screen. Let's go back onto this one. Get the super chat back up there. I don't think that we would have got beat, but I understand what you're saying. It's one of those things that Celtic ultimately, the game was in our own hands. Rio Hatate didn't help the situation. When we go 2-0 up with 10 men, you're thinking, just hang on. The first 10 minutes of the second half was a killer. Kasper Schmeichel, Celtic will look at the way that Kasper Schmeichel distributed the ball in the second half, the beginning of the second half, because the first 15 minutes of the second half, that put us under pressure. Kasper Schmeichel was kicking the ball away up in there. He wasn't hitting, he wasn't aiming for anybody. It was one of those lobbed kicks, they go up like this. And rather than a direct ball, he's like, there's a player there, I'm hitting for. He's just hitting it into an area, hoping that the Celtic players get it. The Celtic players weren't getting it. Every time, and Kasper should have been, he's an intelligent guy. He knows that he knows the way that football plays, but he kept on repeating the same thing. Every time they got the chance to kick the ball out, he just kicks it into an area, hoping that a Celtic player would get there, rather than changing. And then there was times where he would get the ball, and ultimately, rather than playing the ball out quick, he allowed them to get into their defensive positions, which didn't help Celtic at all. But when it comes to it, it's a 2-2 draw in Italy. Would you attain it before the game? All day long. But anyway, Wee Mitch is coming with super chat out, so let's be positive about the result. Enjoy your night. Yeah, I am positive. I did say before the game, I thought it would be 1-1. I thought 1-1 would be a fantastic result away from home. And I just hope that we could have got it. We didn't. Let's talk about positives of the players. There was a lot of positives. Austin Trusty played out his skin tonight. Colby Donovan, for a young lad that's just stepped up from the academy. By the way, he is a player and a half. He is all fight. And there was one point where he was defending Rio Hatate from the Italians. Sticking up for Rio Hatate when the Italians were trying to get in his face. Colby Donovan, the young lad, is pushing right up in front of the Italians, saying, you're not getting anywhere near my teammate, mate. Just do one, as they say. But anyway, let's jump back into some of the comments and see what you're saying about that game tonight. They want the Hun games on. Right, that's me coming out the app. We won't get Martin O'Neill's interview. That's rubbish then. If they're going to other games, let me just go that. Okay for that. How does your laziest player get in a position to be sent off? Yeah, I did think it was going to be difficult for Rio Hatate to endear himself to Celtic fans tonight. And there's one thing for sure. He has done absolutely nothing to endear himself to me. That's a certainty. And as a player, Rio Hatate, he got himself in a good position for the goal. But for him to kick out, now, was it deliberate? Was it just the way that, the Italians are going to make a meal of everything. The Italians know that the best thing that they can do is try and get players sent off. Ultimately, Rio Hatate will be here until the end of the season, and then Rio Hatate and Daisen Maeda will be away at the end of the season. But there's a lot of football to be played between now and then. Johnny Kenny, come on. Johnny Kenny could have maybe tried to sneak a goal towards the end. Benji Negrin, come on. Benji Negrin, to be honest, didn't really do much. McGregor, the midfield was missing. I don't think that you can put anything on the midfield, because the way that Celtic set up ultimately, when Rio was sent off, pulling Daisen Maeda. Listen, Martin O'Neill himself will say that maybe pulling Daisen Maeda to play in a back six was not the best thing to do, because it was at that time when we were playing a back six, and this just goes to show, when teams play in Scotland and teams go to a back six, good teams break them down. Good teams can still score from outside the box. Bologna did that tonight. Benji Negrin should have put a block in to stop the Bologna player getting that shot on goal. You've got to say that. Benji Negrin should have done that. I think that was the one thing that Benji Negrin maybe could have had an effect on the game, but ultimately he didn't. Trusty Scales and Tierney were brilliant. I think so. Tierney slowing the game down towards the end of the game, showing his experience at this level. That's why you bring Kieran Tierney back. Kieran Tierney gets a lot of stick for his fitness and all the rest of it. But when he took, it was hardly a real big knock to the face, was it? But he knew how to slow the game down, and that's what we need at Celtic. We need intelligent players. And here's the Scot that won 45 grand at the bookies tonight. Fair play to you, mate. Let me jump into some more of the comments. Let's now concentrate on the league. Well, we can't. You can only concentrate on the league for this weekend, because next week we're back at home at Celtic Park. Oh my God, catch your breath. I don't want to go to that way. We'll go to the fixtures, because the next fixture is in 2 days, 19 hours and 1 minute from now, according to the Celtic website. Let me just bring that down here. That is the next game for Celtic versus Heart of Midlothian, who are 6 points clear at the top of the table. Celtic have just brought in a striker today. And then the next game before the end of the month, just when you think that you get a little bit of a breather, Celtic return to Celtic Park. And it's Utrecht. FC Utrecht at Celtic Park. Can Celtic win that last game to retain their position in the top 24, so that it gives us one more game in the Europa? Knockout football. For the knockout game, any players that Celtic Football Club sign in the next week or so, in the next 10 days, Celtic have got 10 days to get players in. Celtic will know. We can dare to dream. If we had kept every player on the pitch tonight, the result would have been emphatic. There is no way that it would have ended up just 2-2. Not a chance. Celtic were playing far too good until Rio Hatate got sent off. So that's my positivity for the game tonight. And let's look forward to the next 2 games before the end of this calendar month, and then we play Falkirk. And when you look at February is looking like a tasty month also. Let's not even think that far ahead. Let's just concentrate on tonight. And it's an absolutely brilliant result. I will say it. It was fantastic. Celtic held on. I said that before the game, if Celtic could play this game, and if we got ourselves in an opportunity to get the draw, could we hang on for 55 minutes? Could we hang on for 45 minutes? Could we hang on for half an hour once it went to 2-2? We were up against it. And tell you one thing, fair play to Martin O'Neill and fair play to the players. fair play, and we've got to mention him because he's had a lot of stick. He's had a lot of stick from Celtic fans. It's Kasper Schmeichel. And Kasper Schmeichel made some outstanding saves tonight. Absolutely outstanding saves. Sublime saves. Saves that kept us in the game. When we give out the stick, we've also got to give Kasper the respect that is due to him. And I tell you one thing, fair play, Kasper. You played the game of your life tonight, because there was a lot of negativity before the game. There was a lot of people saying, oh God, Kasper in Europe. But I tell you one thing, here's the Kasper Schmeichel tonight, because Kasper Schmeichel ultimately, hats off to him, had potentially one of the games of his life tonight. Let's jump back into the chat to see what we're saying about it. Great result and performance. Hope we'll be this good on Sunday. I think we'll be better than that. Scott settled the Celtic versus Bologna. He cashed out at $3,000. He put the $3,000 on at 14-1. He come out with 42 grand profit. I still want to see that on Facebook, mate. I'm still wanting you to send me that. Just because there'll be doubters. Let's be honest, mate. Just between me and you, there's folk online, you know what they're like. I'm fucking talking pish. He's talking shite, man. I'm fucking talking pish. But if you do send it, I'll still stick it. It's obviously no details, just showing the winnings and the bets. Well done to you, Scott. Absolutely fantastic. I'm just jealous as fuck. Jesus, you know what I could do with 45 grand. Yes, no Hatate against Utrecht. There's a bonus. What's Hatate's fault, Baz? We just got pinned back. Nothing to do with Martin. I do think that Martin will know that. Listen, Martin was very clever. He went to the back six. He knew we were up against it. He changed the tactics. That's a sign of a good manager. Brendan Rodgers wouldn't have changed tactics as much. Ange Postecoglou wouldn't have changed tactics as much. Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney and Fozzie knew that we had to change something because we were under the cosh. Completely under the cosh. I expect the channel to die off now because there is other games on the telly. I am going to jump through some of the comments. All considered, great point. I think it's a great point. Martin O'Neill is the Messiah. A draw, 11 versus 11 is a good result. Never mind 11 versus 10. 11 is a fantastic result. Let's not beat about the bush. It was a phenomenal result. Absolutely phenomenal. Take nothing away from Martin O'Neill and the boys tonight. Absolutely unbelievable result in Italy. And we were with 10 men the majority of the game. Let that just sink in for a minute. Do you know, even if it was 2-2 with 11 on the pitch, we would be completely raving about the result. We were up against it for the majority of the match. And that is what makes this so much better. Unbelievable. Rio will be getting the bus home on his own. Nobody know this. There is a bus actually coming back for you. Donovan is strong. Donovan. I've nothing but admiration, but that young man has grown in stature every single minute. I tell you one thing, there's players that Celtic have brought in and loaned for that position. Long term, Donovan will do fine in that position. And as long as we can keep a hold of him as much as we can. But anyway, it was a fantastic game. I thought Colby was great tonight. A lot of love for Colby Donovan. He'll be like that. Donovan's superb. Softest yellow I've ever seen in all my days. Resulted every player baffled tonight. A moral victory. A moral victory? Don't know. Trusty taking one for the team. Joe Hart killing himself. I never listened to Joe Hart, but because I was watching the game. Tierney was brilliant. I wouldn't say he was brilliant, but Tierney was doing what I would expect Tierney to do. He was playing at the level that I would expect Kieran Tierney to play at. It's not his fault that a lot of the players in the team are not at the level that Kieran Tierney would expect them to be at. But that being said, everyone played an absolute blinder tonight. Casper on the backhander. Sinisalo needs to get his chance. Ooh, really? I thought Casper played brilliant tonight. Joseph, I can't be positive for the way that we got beat. We didn't get beat. Joseph, 2-2's not a beat. Ronaldo. Jesus. Really allowed the ref to make the decision. He did that. Regarding Hatate, getting rid of him. Doesn't want to be here. Fine him a month wage. Oh, that's a hard one. Ultimately, he will be fined. I generally believe that players do get fined when they're sent off. Will it be a month's wage? I have no idea. Saying all that, it's been an absolutely fantastic night. I'm going to jump through the comments. There is over 450 comments. Apologies. I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to see if Scott's commented again, but there's that many comments. Everyone truly defended. Why did that just jump? Happy before the game, ecstatic after it. That's probably the comment that we should end it on, because there's a lot of people jumping off to obviously watch some other games. Donovan or Araujo? Benji, oh, there's a cracker. Donovan. Araujo can't play because he's on loan, mate. He only come on loan in the transfer window, so it has to be Donovan. So Araujo can't play until the playoff games. So for me, it's Donovan, that one. The big one though is Benji or Paulo versus Utrecht. I don't think that Paulo Bernardo didn't get enough time today to do anything. He didn't get enough time for me to. It was too defensive. Do you know? It was far too defensive. The ref was shite. Kenny will come good for sure. I've said before, there's far too much pressure being put on Johnny Kenny. Far too much pressure. He's at best at this moment. He is a number 2 striker. He's a player that should be coming on and playing games and getting game time and improving. There's no way that a striker of his age should be under pressure to feel that he's a number 1 striker. Thankfully, we've brought someone in now where Johnny Kenny, the pressure can get taken off Johnny Kenny. And Martin O'Neill knows that. You've got to remember, I'll reiterate, I'll talk about a comment that Brendan Rodgers made last season. Towards the end of last season, Brendan Rodgers said on Johnny Kenny, he says, myself and John Kennedy, this is Brendan Rodgers' exact words, myself and John Kennedy have been put in a position by Johnny Kenny. Whether we now put him out on loan next season to get more game time, or do we keep him here at Celtic, where he won't get game time and he won't necessarily improve. He needs game time. He needs to play week in, week out. He needs to learn his trade. There's a lot of things that Johnny Kenny needs to do, and we can all agree on that. But at 22-year-old, expecting him, if Johnny Kenny was banging in 15 goals a season, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 goals a season, he would be snapped up and sold. There's not many players that come through at that age to and become phenomenal strikers. And I think that we're just putting, do you know, he's not. You can think of one striker that came through Everton at 17-year-old, and he was bought by Manchester United, and he went on to shag grannies. Not everybody's like that. Johnny Kenny doesn't shag grannies. Anyway, we move on. Scott's under a lot of pressure on the chat, I see. Well done you, Baz, putting in a shift today. These lives much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. I'll double check. I'll come out it. I need to come back onto this. Give me a second. My throat is done in, honestly. What's our new striker? Yeah, I'm out the app. What's the new striker? The new striker is... Oh, wait a minute. Close that. Let me just get a picture of the new striker. Where is it? Oh, go and check the live earlier. I did one earlier when it was confirmed. But anyway, I am done for tonight. My throat is absolutely killing me. Kenny's a number 3 striker, which should be on loan, which was Brendan's idea when we extended his contract. Exactly. Whilst I was critical of people on here slagging players, I thought Bernardo, I thought he was shocking. Well, I don't think Bernardo got enough time tonight, but anyway, we all have our opinions. Kenny puts the ball away like a granny. I think Bernardo's confidence is done. Yes, it is. I think that Bernardo not playing week in, week out would affect anyone. And I'm going for a beer. I'm not even going for a beer. I'm going to finish off this. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans. Yes! 2-2 in Europe. We celebrate draws like no one else celebrates draws. If you know, you know. Anyway, have an absolutely fantastic morning. Thank you to everyone who has watched all the watch-alongs tonight. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Oh, wait a minute. Click that just to see where we are. Obviously, there is a lot of people watching other games now. And we're doing quite well. We're doing quite well with the channel. Where subscriber count is going up very nicely, as they say. Can we ultimately get to a certain number? Can we get to 26,000 before the end of the transfer window? Woof. Well, that would be something else. Where is the... Where is it? Let's score. That one must have got rid of it. It's not on that screen because that is the watch along screen. Must be on this one. Is it this one? There we go. There we go. There it's there. There it is. We're on 25,156 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Can we get to 26,000 subscribers? It's just went up. Did you see that? I see it change. It's cool as fuck. Can we get to 26,000 subscribers before the end of the transfer window? I'd honestly see the end of the transfer window night. If we get to 26,000 subscribers on transfer window night, I'll crease myself. We'll burst open a bottle of bubbly or something, and snort lines off your hookers on air. Joking. Don't participate in any of that. Anyway, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. And we can finish tonight with a friggin' big smile on our face. Because Celtic, against the odds, Celtic with 10 men got the draw in Europe. Fucking... Martin O'Neill, the legacy that Martin O'Neill brings to Celtic. When Martin O'Neill was here the first time, I used to have a glass of this before every game in Europe. And I tell you one thing, it friggin' works. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans. And thank you. Come here. Thank you, honestly. Thank you for watching this and thank you for subscribing. And thank you for putting up with me every single day. See you in the morning.